Okay, so like I say, setup wise, generally sort of down the line was looking pretty good. Just that positioning of where that club goes across your hands. I think you had it sort of a little bit higher in this pad up here.
Yeah.
Getting almost a bit too much space between your little fingers there for your hand to sort of wrap over. As the club went back on here now, it would go back a little bit inside and a bit kind of toe down for me, a bit more than we want to, okay? Causing the club when it gets to the top of the backswing to be a little bit more on the shut side. So as we get to the top of the backswing here now, we can sort of see the toe probably higher than the heel. Club face for me now is a little bit shut, okay? The sensation now is that wrist here, glove wrist, okay, is going to hinge a bit more. As the club goes back now, we'll see the club face as you take it back, hinging a bit more in the wrist. Look at the toe of the golf club now. It's a little bit more toe up, yeah? Not massively, but it isn't changing. You can see the ball flight's changed or the hooks seem to have disappeared, okay?
So I can do more on that.
Well, probably. I wouldn't say you want to go much more, to be fair. And that's the thing. If you go too more, then you'll start knocking it too far right. I mean, small little changes sometimes are all required anyway. As we get to the top of the backswing here now, your club is still slightly strong-ish, okay? But I would say that's there. So it's slightly strong. It's not ridiculously strong, yeah? So a small angle of being closed is fine because that's going to help me produce a little bit of a draw like you've got, rather than the hook.
It's moved slightly forward,
a little bit there, to be fair, but not as much as it was before. I wouldn't have said,
No.
So your arms are now working behind you nicely. You are, to be fair, you talk about that turning into your right. You are turning into your right hip pretty good as the club comes back down now. Not on this yet, pretty steepish, but not disastrously, to be fair. More so with an iron, you'll get away with that, okay? But at least the club path in the golf ball now, club face now is slightly more squared at impact. So
when could I be less steep then?
I think for you, in some ways, it's going to be more of getting into that right side and letting that transition come more from this way. The problem is when you start doing that first with a closed club face, you will hook the heck out of it.
That's what's happening.
Exactly. So we don't want to start going into that as of yet. I don't mind, in some ways, being a little bit on the steep side. And again, we talk about being through a window. There's obviously on plane, steep and shallow, and there's too steep and too shallow. You're not too steep, but you are on the steeper side, which is going to probably just stall the club face from turning over a little bit. Not a bad thing for you, okay? So I wouldn't worry about that as of yet until you start sort of blocking them out to the right, maybe getting a little bit too steep for your swing position, okay? Then we can maybe look to move the other way, perhaps with the second lesson we've got with you with the ones you got from Christmas and stuff. So we can look at that. But generally we saw dare I say, touch wood, nothing went left, did it, yeah? And you didn't feel the need to try and hang on to it. That's the important thing. We want to be able to stand there and okay, right, I can get the golf club now in my toe, I can hinge the wrist up, I can turn here now, and just from here now, just hit the ball, yeah? What you don't want to be doing is have the club going back shut here now and thinking, like, oh God, I got to try to hang on to it. And in some ways, the steepness helped, but at some point when that club is as close as it was, no matter how steep you're going to be, it's going to be a big hook. So, okay, does that make sense then? Yeah. So just work on that wrist hinge, just get a good sensation. There's actually a good draw. I'll draw it on here and I'll show you then in person in a second, okay? You've got alignment sticks, haven't you, yeah? Or the boys have? Yeah. So get the alignment stick sticking out your left leg, okay? So you're setting up to the golf ball there. Now this alignment stick now is going to be on the other side of you, up your left leg. Yeah. As you do your takeaway now, if you hinge your wrist correctly, the stick will brush down your left leg. You can see there now how the stick would be kind of over here somewhere. So if I was doing it this way, that was the alignment sticking out there, okay? As I turn back and hinge, my keys were in the way, that would hinge down my leg. If you do it this way, the stick comes off, yeah? So you're just trying to keep that. I'm not sort of bringing it in. I'm just turning and hinging, yeah? And if I stand...
I do want the stick to brush.
You want the stick to brush on your leg, yeah? So if I take this, keep it for a second. So if I don't move my body now, just hinge my wrist, yeah? It goes down there, yeah? If I turn my toes, do the same again, yeah?
Right.
That's what's going to happen, yeah? So the club then would stay in what we call in front of you. If I use my wrist and I bow this way, it comes off, yeah? That's quite a good one to sort of get the sensation of being a little bit more kind of hinged up on the way back to get that club bit squarer, not getting that kind of shut, closed club face at the top that we had on that left-hand one.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah,
good stuff. Very good, buddy.